Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So I put a flyer out on the tables. Sorry if not everybody can take one home, but it's up here and I'm happy to share further. I think the LIA posted it as well. We're going to be doing a wetland tour on Saturday, July 19th. We'll be starting at the Little Chickasaw Creek boat ramp and then traveling to, I believe, the Gilliland wetland along Club Island Road, and then stopping at Prairie Creek wetlands, and then finishing at Windy Point. There is a free lunch available. We just ask that you RSVP to the Soil and Water Office. And we also will be doing a wildflower and wetland plant identification activity for kids or anyone, which we'll have a prize at the end. We are doing this in conjunction with Ohio Wetlands Association. I am on their board, so they'll be hosting their annual meeting with this tour as well. We're also hosting the state directors on June 25th, coming up here in just a few weeks, giving a tour again around the east side of the lake, including a couple new projects and getting a tour of the fish hatchery. This is a picture from 2 years ago when we hosted the state directors. Mary Mertz and Brian Baldridge are the active ODNR and ODA directors, and then Ann Vogel has since moved on to US EPA. So the new director, John Logue from EPA, will be out here as well. And I've been told that the Department of Health director is coming as well. So hopefully we'll get some good interaction with the state agencies on June 25th, show them the great new projects that we have, talk about long-term water quality and what we need to keep doing to improve water quality moving forward. Just wanted to share some quick tidbits that Stephen had shared on the wetland performance and the volume of water that's being pumped. I know Coldwater Creek has been ramped up since this date of May 19th. It was running at about 1 million, and I believe that's been ramped up. And then Prairie Creek's running at about 1.5 million, and Beaver Creek at 1/2, which is maxed out at that location, and then Big Chickasaw at about 1/2 to 600,000 gallons per day. But you can see the reductions in nitrate and phosphorus that we're getting at that point in time, upwards of that 50%, which is great to see. I'm going to talk a little bit about Prairie Creek and some modifications we're looking at to help improve that site. Beaver Creek, we did submit a grant application to add another pump so we could double that volume from 500,000 to 1 million. We've got a large area at Beaver Creek, so and we can certainly handle more capacity there. So at Prairie Creek, I know this is really hard to see, but I went out and took some survey data this week, and I will say if you're looking for snakes, that's the place to be. I think there was 12 snakes in that settling pond. So, yeah, not my cup of tea, but I think I jumped a few times. So what we'd like to do is look at expanding. So we have phase 1 and phase 2 out there, and they're operated as independent systems, and we're not going to change the inflow of water, but what we would like to do is enlarge that pond and make it one. We would still have a mechanism to measure flow going over and calculate those reductions on each side, but we could get it deeper. Right now it's maybe 4 foot deep. We don't see great sediment reductions. I think because of that, if we could get it deeper and have more space for sediment to settle out in that first settling bay like we have at our other sites, we could really improve those numbers, which in turn affect the total phosphorus numbers. The other thing we want to do is at the inlet station way down on the channel itself, where we're pulling water from the channel, is move that intake back to help get more sediment to pass by versus going through our pumps. We have a very high pump maintenance bill at this site every year. So we want to spend some money up front to try to get less money in pump maintenance year after year. So those two things combined should help improve performance. I was trying to put an estimate together to see what this would cost, and I'm currently looking for ways to fund that. I have a few ideas. When the Lake Restoration Commission meets next, we will put our heads together and figure out our best path moving forward. I envision this happening this fall and winter after we're done pumping water for the season, and hopefully have all these things done for next year. I mentioned this last month, but wanted to bring it up again. VTF Excavation was awarded this project over at Red Wing. It sits adjacent to the Red Wing Nature Trail at the State Park in Auglaize County. We're going to be building a wetland complex there. I believe they moved in some equipment, just started mowing and taking out just the smaller trees that are in the way. And hopefully they'll get going here in July with excavation and get these new wetlands constructed. It should be able to pump about 500,000 gallons a day for treatment from the lake directly. So we're excited to get that started and get things moving on that project. This was funded through H2 Ohio. Our newest project, I don't know if the name of this will change, but we've called it the Harmon Project because it sits near Harmon's Landing in Auglaize County. The goal of this project is to treat water from Barnes Creek. Barnes Creek is the only tributary that does not have treatment wetlands on the creek. So the goal here, it's about a 51-acre site. We are set to close on this property on June 24th. We received Clean Ohio funds for the land purchase. And then right now I'm in just the process of putting together an estimate and then going for funding. Ideally, H2 Ohio would be my first pick for a funding source. As Brian mentioned, there's been some proposed reductions to that program that could impact our ability to get funding for this project, but we have a pretty good track record of being successful in getting projects done in a timely fashion, so I hope that it doesn't and that we can proceed as we had kind of planned for this project. We've got a lot to do on this project. Like I said, we're just closing on the land, but it should all come together and hopefully we'll see some things happening next year at this location. Last thing I wanted to throw up here was the long-term data for the microcystin monitoring. Again, this comes from the Salina Water Treatment Plant. This includes this week's data. So you can see we did have quite a spike right after we had that last large rain event in May. It has since come back down quite a bit, but we keep this updated on a weekly basis. I know Brian puts it on the website when he can, so it is available on the LIA website if you want to see this or share it with others. I think that's all I have. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. All right, thanks.